Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm okay.
What does okay feel like at this point?
You have your good days and bad days. And okay is just I'm getting through my days.
When did you decide that you would go back?
I decided pretty early on, but at first, after it all happened, my husband told me, you don't have to go back. Don't go back. Don't go back to teaching. It's not worth it.
That's what he immediately told
Yes,
you right
he
after.
immediately, yeah. He
Which I think everyone understands. Like,
yeah. And so I said, I'm not to that point yet. I can't decide what I want to do right now. But as time went on, like about a week or so later, I told him, I said, I'm going back. And he said, why? Why? We can figure out something else. And I just said, well, if I don't go back, every other kid that was in my class can say, well, my teacher didn't go back. My own children would be like, well, you're not going back to school. Why do I have to go back? And I decided I can't live in fear anymore. I can't live in that moment. I have to move forward with my life.
I went by Robb Elementary today for the first time. How many times have you been back?
I've been by several times. I went by a few days after it all happened because I just saw like all the people going and putting things there and all this stuff, and I went by the memorial that makeshift memorial that everybody had started making, and just that outpouring of love and support from people all over that never knew Uvalde, where we were. Felt good. And then I've been back since a few more times just to kind of pay respect because those were kids that I saw every day. Those teachers were my two very dear friends that I worked with every day, ate lunch with every day. We sent text messages in the evenings. They were my friends that for the past 8 years that I've been there, they've been there.
Do you still hear the voices of the children?
One of the children, Mckenna Elrod, I know her family very well, and every morning, just a big smile on her face. Good morning, Mrs. Ogburn, and she would be like, "Can I give you a hug?" Of course you can, and she'd give me a hug. And then some of the other kids I remember, and it's kind of funny, the little Jace Luevanos, I always like, Jace, slow down, Jace, stop running. You know, just like things like that, like in the halls, seeing them. You know, I can see their little faces. And it hurts that they're not going to be here anymore to go to school and have fun and do all the things that their friends are going to get to do in the coming years. And then my friends, like, their families are missing them, and I'm missing them, and my co-teacher that I teach with is missing them because they were our people. We turned to, we vented to, we laughed with, we cried with. We told stories about our own children, like our personal kids, to each other and how wonderful they were, or the times when our kids were frustrating us, and, you know.
That's what families do.
Yeah, that's
They
what
tell
families
the good,
do.
the challenges, all of that.
Everything. Yeah.
What would the beginning of school normally look like for you?
So normally, as a teacher, I go back 2 weeks early. I'm excited, buying supplies, making my room look real cute, planning for what we're going to be doing the first few weeks of school, making it fun and exciting, and just inviting for the kids. And it's been hard to get to that point of the excitement of it all. It's been painful to walk into a room and not see my friends there to help us plan or ask, hey, what are you doing in your room this year that's really cool that I can do in my room? I guess just that unknown feeling of how's this year going to be? Because we've had a few tough years the last few years.
The job now includes something that you couldn't have ever planned for, and that's to get them back in school.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't forget what happened but to help them move forward. What could possibly prepare you for that?
It's hard to prepare for something like that because I've been asked, like, what are you going to tell these kids if they ask if they're going to be safe? And I said, I really can't promise them anything because in our world today, we can't make promises like that because you just never know what's going to happen. But I can promise them that I'm going to try to do my very best to keep them safe and let them know that they're loved. And that when they come to me, like, I'm going to do what I can for them and I'm going to protect them.
Have you practiced what you'll say when they walk in that first day?
No, not yet. I mean, I'm going to I know I want to have a big smile on my face and just love them. Like, that day is going to be a lot of love. It's not going to be a whole lot of teaching. It's going to be showing that my room is inviting. My room is a place where you can come, and if you need a minute, you can go take that minute because we're all probably going to have those moments this year where we just need that moment to cry or be mad for just a minute and then, okay, let it go and come back. So I want them to know that my room is going to be a place that is safe for them to even show their emotions.
You told that class who you had to protect that day that same message that you've been telling kids for 7 years.
I actually, about a week or two before that, there was a young lady in my class that had some issues with some kids or another student in the class, and she felt unsafe. And I looked at her and I said, Mrs. Ogburn is going to always protect you, and I'm not going to let anybody hurt you, right? Little did I know that was going to happen. And even now I tell her, I told you I would protect you.
You're juggling, Nicole, this role as a teacher, but you're also a mom first. And you have your children to worry about, and they are worried about you. What's home like?
It's been rough this summer just because I've been told by my family I'm not the same person I was before. And that it hurts. Because I probably never will be that person again, and I want to be. But I'm trying. I'm getting the help I need. Because I want my own personal kids to know that, like, we're all going to go through things in life, but it's how we get back up and handle it.
I watched you with your daughter today, and, I saw a kid smiling with their mom, which teenagers don't often do with their moms.
Yeah.
And there she was smiling with you. When you send her off to school, send your children off to school, what will that be like for you?
I'm real worried about both of them, but just because that day was my oldest daughter's worst fear. And I don't want her to be in fear of having to go to school because this is her senior year, and I want her to enjoy herself and have fun and get to do all the senior things.
That she deserves.
And
When your family says that they see something different in you now than before, what do you believe they are referring to other than the obvious trauma?
I guess I had a lot of guilt. Like, I shouldn't be having fun. I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be smiling because these people lost their children. These people lost their parents. And it's not fair for me to be happy when they're grieving for their kids and their moms and their dad.
With that said, you have spoken about this opportunity to go in that classroom there with you. The people that you went to for advice and comfort. I have a little quote on my wall, like, even though the people that you love aren't here, they're always with you. And it has, because about 3 years ago, Eva and Irma and myself and my other co-teacher, Tricia, we were team teachers. We all team taught together. So I have our pictures on the wall with that
phrase in between it, just kind of in my classroom.
So Eva and Irma and you still together.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want people to understand about going back into school that is on your heart that you want them to know?
I want people to know that for us as teachers, we're doing our best to prepare our classrooms to be comforting to these kids and to be hopefully that a safe place. And that from what I've seen with our school district too, like they're trying real hard to do what's right.
I was thinking about the journey to teaching and that it wasn't your first choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you were reluctant, even doubted that you wanted to do this.
Yes.
We talk a lot about destiny. Do you think a lot about it?
I do, especially after this. For some reason, I was supposed to be where I was at that day. I don't know why. And I even asked God, like, why was my life spared? Why was I not taken that day? And why were they? Because they didn't deserve it. Not that I deserved it or anything, but that's just that guilt that I have. And sitting there with the kids that day on the floor, like underneath hiding, I remember praying, God, just protect us, protect everybody in this building, just protect us. Please, God, let him not come over here. And afterwards, I was like, I don't know why. I have no idea why. But for some reason, he did protect us that day.
What will be your prayer before going into school next week?
Prayers for me is for hope, faith, and that I can keep my composure and not just break down in front of the kids. But I pray that the kids can come back, and I know it may not be right off the bat, but I pray that they will get that sense of some sort of normalcy coming back to them and be able to come into a school and eventually feel like they are safe there. Because we always talked about a lot of these kids that we have in our community school is their safe place.